Welcome, everyone, to 24/7 Sports. I am Tom Loy alongside the 105 guys. We've got Director of Scouting Andrew Ivins and National Analyst Cooper Patagna. Signing day is right around the corner, so we're looking at soon-to-be signees in the 2025 recruiting classes all across the country. We're going to hit a few superlatives and clearly state our take on many of these prospects. Today, we are looking at Oklahoma. The Sooners have the number 12 ranked recruiting class in 2025. And there are 21 commits set to play for head coach Brent Venables. Andrew, we will start with you. Give me a first-round potential guy, somebody with elite traits now that might even find himself called in the NFL draft in round one.
Tom, this is an easy one. And I think if you're an Oklahoma fan, you should be excited because the strength of the recruiting class is on the offensive line, and it's led at the top by Michael Fasusi, the Sooners' highest-ranked commit, number 3 ranked offensive tackle for us. Number 17 overall player. This is my kind of guy. His favorite snack is Rice Krispies. And of course, he was on the annual Freaks list, number 11 this year for us. This is a kid with a unique background. Didn't move to the United States until 5 years ago. Grew up playing soccer over in Africa. Has found the game of football. And he's got all the athletic juice to bake into an elite corner protector. I think we watch him on tape here as a senior. Still got to match the feet with the hands. But, man, if it all comes together, Michael Fasusi, he's a guy that not only could get drafted one day, but he could tear up the NFL scouting combine. His 31.7-inch vertical jump, that ranks number 2 amongst prospects in the 2025 cycle that are over 280 pounds. So Michael Fasusi, I think he's got all the traits to protect either the right or left side of Oklahoma's line at some point down the line.
I agree with Drew here. I love Michael Fasusi, really one of my favorite tackles in the class. And you think about the big ball of clay that he kind of presents. I mean, he checks so many boxes. Drew kind of talked about that background in soccer, and you see the nimbleness in terms of the foot and the body quickness, the synchronization. He's also playing more physical as a senior as well. He's young for his age. You add all those things together, it's a pretty easy pick. I'm really, really excited to see him in San Antonio. Good on good competition there. I think he can really make a name for himself in that environment. Is one of those guys we've kind of put in the raw developmental elite traits category, but I think he can go from that to maybe one of the best certified tackles in the country with a strong performance at the All-American Bowl. So really, really excited to kind of see him here over the next couple months and see how he performs in that good on good setting.
I'm going to join you with another 2025 Navy All-American, and that's cornerback Tristan Haynes. Love everything about his game. He's got the size, the speed, the polish. I mean, I see a difference maker in him, not only now, but obviously for years to come at Oklahoma. Coop, let's go to you. Let's get a day one impact guy, somebody who's going to see the field early and often in Norman.
I didn't think I'd go in this direction, but Elijah Thomas is a guy that I'm kind of really warming up to. You think about him, the length that he has. He's a 3-phase player as well. He can do a lot of different things. I think Oklahoma's going to have to figure out kind of where he fits at the next level positionally. I think safety kind of makes the most sense. Drew talks about this a lot, and for good reason. There is a strong indicator of success with guys that have come out and run sub-11, in this case, sub-10.8, in 10.77 with Elijah Thomas, and also jumped 24-plus in the long jump. This guy is in a rare category. I love the athlete. The more you watch the football player, it's really easy to fall in love with that part of his game as well. So you combine those two together, he's an ascending player and a guy that I think could find his way onto the field early because he might just be too talented to keep off.
Yeah, I wanted to write down Michael Fasusi here for Oklahoma. Still think he might be a few years away, and I'm going to be careful because last year I thought Eugene Brooks, Oklahoma's 4-star offensive line signing, I thought he was going to be a guy here in 2024, and he hasn't played an offensive snap yet. And when you look at this recruiting class, kind of hard to peg down someone you're going to think is going to play as a true freshman. The name I kept coming back to, Torrey Blaylock, our number 19 ranked running back. And look, it is a logjam there in the backfield for Oklahoma. Taylor Tatum looks like the running back of the future. Javante Barnes can come back. You have Gavin Sawchuk in the mix, same with Xavier Robinson. But what Torrey Blaylock has been able to do here as a senior, I just love it. 9.1 yards per carry. He's got close to 200 receiving yards. That's through 6 games. Good combo of power, burst. He can get it done in between the tackles despite being under 200 pounds. So I don't know if we see him in year 1, but year 2, year 3 down the line, I think this is one of the more ready-to-play players in the class for Oklahoma.
I nearly went that way, but I went with edge rusher C.J. Nixon. I could see him stepping in and helping Oklahoma's defense in year 1. Now, He's a guy that's going to need some time to truly develop, but I do believe he's somebody that you can get on the field early in year one, let him kind of pin his ears back and just get after the quarterback. Boomer bust, Ivans, will go to you. An intriguing guy who could potentially outperform or underachieve. Kind of a mystery. Who do you got?
I got Trent Wilson, and this is a kid that used to be in our top 247 interior defensive lineman. He was at St. Francis Academy as a junior, kind of dinged up his knee, missed a chunk of games, but he's healthy now, and he's at Wise High School there in Maryland, and he is producing. I love what he has done here during his 12th grade campaign. He's got 7 sacks, 7 hurries, 10 tackles for loss through 7 games. He's got adequate get off. He's got some power. And what I really like about him is he can play those inside games. And you think about the interior of the Sooners defensive line under Nick Easton, Jaden Jackson, David Stone. We've both seen them as freshmen. I think Trent Wilson only adds to that group. And this is another guy that's tested really well in the past prior to that injury. 4.49 in the short shuttle, 108-inch broad jump. He also bench pressed 225 pounds 23 times at the Rivals 5-Star Challenge. I think he's one where he could play himself into the 4-star conversation.
Yeah, I'm going to go with CJ Nixon. And Tom, I know that was your pick for early impact, but CJ Nixon throughout this entire evaluation process, just for me personally, has been a tough one to pin. I think there were times where we thought he was a guy that could really kind of make himself into a top 50 prospect. And there are at times where he kind of slid down the board, which is what happened in the most recent update. You think about his strong resume when it comes to basketball and what he's done on the hardwood. You watch him on the field as well, a two-way prospect, dynamic kid, can bend the edge, a very natural athlete. Just in terms of the lack of information, there's not a lot outside of the basketball context, right? Never seen this guy live, don't really know what he looks like, don't have any additional verified context on him. The good part about this, in a similar way that I talked about with Michael Fasusi, we're going to see good on good in San Antonio at the Navy All-American Bowl. So he's got a big week there coming up where he could see himself potentially work himself back into that conversation as one of those guys that could contribute early at the next level. But right now I'm kind of in wait and see mode.
Boomer bust for me is receiver Cortez Mills. I kind of have him in this spot because I'm not sure he's going to blow anybody away with his testing data. He's ranked number 205 overall, top 20 at his position, but I love the football player. I love him as a receiver. He's a guy who's going to win just about every 50-50 ball with ease. He's fearless. I just eventually see him becoming a top receiver in college football over time. But again, testing-wise, I'm not sure he's going to blow anybody away, so it's kind of intriguing to see how things play out for him. Diamond in the rough, Cooper, go back to you. A 3-star prospect who could surprise some people down the road, might even find himself drafted. Who do you got?
Well, I got 2 guys, and one of those guys is in the top 247, more towards the back, and that was Cortez Mills, the receiver there, and a guy that I just kind of love his combination of suddenness, initial quickness, off the line of scrimmage, that ability to create separation, not only off the line, but at the top of the route as well. And then I think he's really strong at the catch point. You mix that in with the inconsistency that Oklahoma has had at receiver. They're looking for playmakers. Yes, they've been banged up, but I think that kind of gives a window for a guy like Cortez Mills. The other guy, Cortland Guillory, another guy that I really like at the cornerback position. I think going to be a little bit of a longer burn. He's got to put some weight on at the next level. But you look at this guy's instincts, both sides of the ball, whether it's receiver, whether it's corner. I love the plant and drive ability, the reactionary quickness to go with it. This guy's just kind of a football player. I think Brent Venables kind of has a really good feel for kind of digging these guys out, know what they look like, and I think he's got a good player there in Cortland Guillory.
I wrote down Manny Choice here, number 83 wide receiver for us, having a heck of a senior campaign there in Texas. 6'4", 193, carries it really well. I think he's eventually going to play at 215 pounds because he doesn't turn 18 until next June. Like the combination of the size, the hands, and the straight line speed, can create after the catch, competes, will shed some tackles. And I think when you look at the wide receivers Oklahoma took last cycle, a lot of smaller guys, Manny Choice more in that bigger mold. And I think he's someone that can make contested grabs out on the outside, could absolutely see him outplaying his ranking.
The kid I went with is one that Oklahoma's going to have to continue to work to hold on. I know Notre Dame's sniffing around there, but it's receiver Emmanuel Choice. He's a super talented pass catcher. And when you talk to people around him, they call him a dog. They say he's got that mentality. He's the best football player on the field when the lights come on. I love that about him. So he's one that I could see absolutely outperforming his current ranking. But that wraps it up. As I said before, we're going to hit a bunch of schools leading up to December's early signing period. But for Andrew Ivins and Cooper Patagna, I'm Tom Loy. As always, stay locked to 247sports.com.